Hello, good evening, and welcome to the second Spookopoly-thon reading vlog. I am going to be doing my second round of rolls. I'm mood reading through Spookopoly-thon, so if you haven't checked out last week has a list of all the books, all of my hopeful books and books on my physical TBR, as well as the books on my Libby app. I'll be drawing from those. Otherwise, let's go ahead and get into the rolls, and then I'll find out what I'm reading, and this vlog will go until I finish those prompts. One book I know for sure I'm reading, our Draconathon Fable book pick. We read dragon books and books with dragons in them. The past 2 months have been The Phoenix Keeper, and we are in October, which by the end of October we have to have it finished. I wasn't able to read it in September, so I'm definitely reading it this month. So whatever I roll, it's also going to be The Phoenix Keeper on my TBR. We're just going to have to see how I pull that one off. Regardless of whether I succeed or not, let's go ahead and get into the rolls, and then I will check in with you tomorrow morning. So I'll have little inserts of me describing the books. That will be me fresh-faced and ready to actually talk about them when I have the mental capacity to even know what I'm talking about. For now, I'm just gonna roll some dice, and then future me will let you know what's up. Okay, for this round, I do just have 2 plain die. Last time I used my partner's D&D die, but he did take those back. So we have these now, which is fine for our purposes, and we're gonna go ahead and roll. Okay, so we have 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we've landed on the broomstick. Oh, okay, so I'm doing this before work. I don't know what last night Jade was thinking, but here we are. Sorry, I'm reading my notes from last night, and they are scribbles. Broomstick is to read a crisp, clean cover, something very minimalistic, and I'm definitely choosing Witchstone by Henry Neff for this prompt. I absolutely love this cover. It's really stunning, very minimalistic, but gets so much across, and I'm 45% of the way through it, and I'd like to finish it. I started on vacation, and I will be finishing it here. This follows a demon named Laszlo who doesn't want to be turned into primordial ooze, so he has to actually do his job. He's in middle management, and his boss is now on his case that he needs to do his job, which has something to do with curses. So he picks up one of his old cold cases for a curse and meets 2 children who need their curse broken. And I'm looking forward to continuing it. Sorry, just checking the time. Next! Okay, and going on with my next roll. We have 7 again in a different order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Roll dice roulette. Wait, is this the math one? Okay, this is indeed the math one. Okay, so I'm going to be rolling the dice again. I just checked the rules, and this dice roll is going to determine how many pages I end up reading. Becca has a handy chart, so we'll just see what we get. Oh, okay, it rolled off screen, so I'm going to try again. Oh my god, it rolled off screen again. 5, 6, 7. You can't see it. Hold on. I'm just going to go right there. You can see it is a 7. Does that mean I got 3 7s? That seems crazy. Okay, this is probably the worst prompt I could have not done last night. I'm gonna look at Becca's video and get the numbers and then find a book that matches the page number. Why? So I rolled a 7, and I'll go ahead and put the graphic here. This is the graphic that Becca has, which means I need a book between 325 to 374 pages, which seems all relative to the font size. I've done a lot of formatting now, so now I realize this is just nonsense. Going to turn the camera off so I can scramble. Yes. I'm pretty sure this fits. 325, 28, 29. I almost just read the last page, but I didn't, of An Education in Malice by S.T. Gibson. I'm very excited to pick this one up. This is a dark academia book following 2 students, Laura and Carmilla, and they go to a university where they are both in a poetry class. They become academic rivals and somehow are entangled or enmeshed with a vampire. From what I understand, it's incredibly sapphic, very spicy. I know that I have lots of friends who also want to read this, so I'm going to get this read so I can pass it along. That was nice. That was fun. I have to go catch my train. I will check in with you, I don't know, eventually. Park, but I'm in one of my 2 hideaways. I only have classes in the afternoon, so I spent this morning reading in my first hideaway, which is the library. Hopefully there's some good shots in there. It's a little hard because I am friends with the librarian, but she also doesn't know I'm vlogging. First impressions of An Education in Malice. Wow, this book is vivid. Like, it feels so saturated and rich. Every single page is really good to read, and I was just flying through it in the library. I kept on thinking I would stop at the end of each chapter, and I just kept going. I really like Laura. She is our main character, and I'm getting a hint of Carmilla. Right now it's like too early to say how I actually feel about her, but like my senses are being activated on like every single page of this book, so it's hard to even pay attention to like where this plot is going. Right now it's kind of just vibes, dark academic vibes if you're wondering. I'm probably not going to be able to update again today, but on my commute home I'm going to switch over to Hellstone and get more of that listened to, and then I'll check in again when I can. I'm gonna have a really candid update, honest update, because I've been trying to vlog, but I'm also having a really hard time right now, and nothing's happened. Like, I don't want to alarm people. In fact, instead of alarming people, I would want to caution people. If you have any sort of content warnings towards body issues or dysphoria or anything like that, I'll put timestamps, but you can also just skip this one. If even just like knowing that I'm in that headspace upsets you, you don't have to watch. I'll totally understand. This sucks. I don't want to talk about it really, but at the same time, I'll feel worse if I don't talk about it. If I like just continue to make this vlog and I make something up for why I switched my Halloween costume when you see me making it in the other vlog. I guess the other thing is that I'm not ashamed of how I'm feeling right now, but I am frustrated. Like, I'm really frustrated, and it's upsetting, and it's something I've been working on so much. Sorry, let me back up. I'm a moth for Halloween, which, like, I mean, I like sewed this, have this going, and I was specifically a rosy maple moth. It's my favorite moth. I made this. I'm very excited to wear this. I'm probably not going to wear it this year because obviously it's missing its main component, which is like whatever I'm wearing here. I was going to get like a pink dress for it to match. At first they were just out of like pink dresses, and you know, like that was annoying, but I'm not taking life too seriously right now, so you know, I was fine. But then I started trying on some different alternatives, and just the unkindest thoughts were in my head, and they're so frustrating because they're not really how I think of myself. It's just an intrusively rude thought and I struggled with it, kind of like blew it off a little bit, and ended up buying kind of like, I don't know another word for it, but very concealing and frumpy sweater that I didn't even like, and I tried it on today, and I absolutely hate it. I hate it. I don't want to cover my body up, but I also couldn't find the thing I was originally looking for, and I wasn't liking my body really either way. Like, covering up, being skimpy, either one was not working for me, and that's like just so frustrating. I'm feeling better now that I have these on my ears because I just feel like it's less serious. I just want to say, if you did continue to watch this and you are wanting to reassure me, you don't need to. It's not really something I need to be reassured on because it's psychological. It is real, but it's psychological. It's not rational. It's not something to be compared to or understood next to. I kind of changed my mindset, did a lot of work when I first came to Japan, and I have really shifted out of that. So I am more upset with the intrusive thoughts than I am with my body right now, but the fact remains is when I try and put this costume on, those thoughts still come up. I really want to do this idea. I have big ideas, but I'm just not feeling good with them right now. Like, I have fuzzy wings. This should be fun. So I am going to table this. It's not going to be a waste. It's not something that I won't come back to. It's just not what I'm going to wear to the Halloween party. I think I'm just going to go a little bit more casual. I'm going to ask my friend to pick me up and get like devil horns or something. That sounds nice. And then I'm just kind of gonna go that way with it instead of going all out. Because going all out right now feels really vulnerable, like an open nerve. I'm not in an unsafe headspace. I am taking care of myself and I am listening to not just my body, but my emotions. I'm nourishing myself. I'm eating a lot. I'm running because it makes me feel good, not as a punishment, but as a way of showing my body that I care. And I'm drinking lots of water. I'm a little apprehensive about drinking alcohol tomorrow because I just made a whole bunch of drinks and it was really fun to do. I'm just going to try and listen to myself and do things that bring me joy. Right now, a fuzzy moth costume is not bringing me joy, so I'm going to do something else. I have no idea what it'll be, but I put so much effort and work into this and I've talked to people about it. Maybe people won't know or won't care, but I would. I watch these vlogs back to see different progressions and things that happen in my life. Not immediately after. Immediately after it's cringe, but like I do watch back my older videos because like they have my brother in them, or they have my family, or they have me on a trip, and I don't want to look back and know that I'm suffering or sad or upset, gritting my teeth through it. That's not healthy to me and that's not nourishing to me. That being said, I'm going to not be a moth in the immediate future and just not do something because it's expected of me. Not that any of you were personally asking me to wear a fuzzy moth costume next weekend, but I'm not going to. If you related to this, I'm sorry because I know that this feeling sucks, but just know taking care of yourself and nourishing yourself and being kind to yourself is helpful and you are deserving of that. I also just feel better having said it out loud and kind of talked it out. I know that there is a delay between me giving you information and you responding, especially since I have to edit this video and the last one, but I really do appreciate those who were able to listen for listening because it sucks, but I do feel better having said it out loud and just being honest and upfront about it and not hiding it because there's nothing to be ashamed of. Part of it's societal, but it's nothing for me to be ashamed of. So I just need to go ahead and reroute, which I think I'm going to reroute to the devil. I'm gonna go chill myself out a little bit, hang out, relax, probably read more, and then I'll check back in with you and let you know, really update you on what I've been reading because I've actually been reading a lot and it's been really good. I've just not been feeling great, but I will be updating you. Also, if this is your first vlog from me, can I recommend you another one? I'll put 3 down below. 3 of my favorites, all-time favorites. Go watch one of those and then determine whether or not you want to subscribe because holy crap, I wouldn't either. so much better. I mean, I look terrible, but that's because I was just partying and having the time of my life. I know my last update was a little upsetting, and that's completely okay, because I was upset. But just so you know, I'm feeling a lot better. I'm a little rough, but I'm feeling good. The party was fantastic, like phenomenal. It was only good vibes, friends, exploding kittens. We ended up finishing the night watching Predator on the projector, the OG one, which I hadn't watched in a long time, but was a classic in our household. I dressed how I want. I felt how I wanted to feel, and I cannot stress enough to listen to yourself. Just follow your own expectations for yourself. I wasn't wanting to be cutesy. I wasn't wanting to be fluffy. I didn't want a whole bunch of extra layers on me. I wanted to feel good. I wanted to feel like sexy, and I wanted to feel strong. The dynamic between like masculine and feminine and being able to switch. And when I was putting on what I was going to be wearing for my moth costume, which is adorable and will eventually be used, it wasn't for right now. Maybe even this year. I listened to myself and I feel phenomenal for it. If you had to skip the other part of my video, I'm proud of you if you are listening to this portion, because that means you listen to yourself, and it's literally one of the most nourishing things you can do. Another nourishing thing I did for myself is I was reading this morning. We woke up early. I don't get hangovers. I know, I'm lucky. I don't know even how lucky I am because I've never had one, but while everyone else was like suffering, I read More of an Education in Malice. This book is so freaking good. I am eating it, devouring it. It feels smoky. I am about exactly halfway through. This is a vampire book. I don't know if I mentioned that in the beginning. This vlog has been a bit touch and go, and I apologize for that. But there's been some levity in here. I'm really liking the friendships that are forming. This really is academic rivals to like sexual tension. I don't know about lovers, but we've gotten a lot of sexual tension, and the moments that have been created are like so smart. It doesn't like pull you out of the fact that they are still rivals and they're not getting along. They have both admitted that there is something there, but it makes sense. The two perspectives are Laura and Carmilla. Carmilla has already been at the school, and she is from Austria and went all the way to the school to be the protege of Professor Stelefant. Carmilla is already really well established. She's well liked. She's lovely and gorgeous and popular. Laura comes in. She's from a country bumpkin town, and she just kind of applied to the school, sent in some of her poetry, and Delafontaine requested and like invited her into the class that Carmilla has fought to get into. So they have a rivalry going on with this teacher. They also have poetry moments where like they're kind of spewing poetry back and forth. Laura also has different kinks and things that she's wanting to explore. So if that's not something you're into, this might not be the book for you, but she's being really honest and upfront in her narrative about how she's feeling, what she would like to do, having some shame towards that, but also getting to explore. The descriptions in this are a whole other thing though. I love the descriptions in this. This is something I'm going to reflect back on when I am redrafting my second book, because the descriptions are just beautiful, and I really love that part of the editing process, is when I can go back in and like make sentences beautiful. It was one of my favorite parts in the drafting of The Solstice Court. Going into book 2, I want to keep that alive. This was next level. This was something where I'm like, okay, I need to take notes. I need to academically read this. She also has content warnings at the beginning, and thank you for everyone who puts content warnings in their book, because I would definitely say there's things in here you would want to know going in. In fact, I'll list them off for you. Uneven power dynamics, inappropriate relationships with a professor and students, blood, gore, murder, consensual sexual content including public sex, kink, negotiated, and spontaneous, alcohol and drug use, smoking. It also contains brief references to racist political policies, homophobia, religious discrimination against women. Those are things you can look out for and take care of yourself, which is something that I am preaching in this vlog quite a bit. It just feels so powerful. Every single time I'm reading it, I want to read it physically. I want to read the sentence and not know what could possibly be coming next in the next sentence. It's almost like a tangible feeling. Like it gives me like tingles as I'm reading, because I just feel so compelled. It also puts me in the writing mood, which is really nice. I can't write right now though. I do like critiques over on Fiverr for early manuscripts, and I have one in now that's due in about 10 days, so I'm going to work on that. Maybe do some of my own writing, but like clicking into that part of my brain kind of takes me out of my creativity. I don't know what this day will fully hold for me, but my next step is going to be doing that. And I guess I also need to edit, not this vlog, but the last vlog. And I need to kind of put these up almost within the same week or I'm going to be too stacked and you won't see the end of this until like mid-November. On the docket, just to wrap up, do critiques, and then I'm going to edit vlog 1, and then I'll go ahead and maybe either read a little bit more or write. I'll be finished. Oh, and so is this battery life. Perfect timing. To those who have a full-time job, side gigs, and vlog on the regular, I applaud you. I don't know who you are or what you're made of, but it's not human anatomy. I'm so tired. I had a moment, I realized I could pick up my camera and actually talk about books, which is all I really want to do because I'm doing laundry. Not just regular laundry either, I'm doing the switch. The switch between cold clothes and warm clothes. It's happening. The jackets, the sweaters, it's all coming out. This is not the full extent of my laundry situation. Hold on 1 second. I also have this, but wait, there's more. Instead of cleaning, I threw all of my clothes into my closet. So nothing's folded and nothing's organized, but it's clean. Ugh. Hi! Okay, so the first book I'd like to talk about is Witchstone by Henry Neff, and that is part of the reason I'm wearing these devil ears. Throughout this vlog, I have been listening to Witchstone, and it was very, very fun. Where's even a starting point? I know I gave a rundown of what Witchstone was about at the beginning of this vlog, and I had actually started it and talked a little bit about it during my vacation, but now I want to give my full thoughts. I'm going to go with a 3. Up until the 60% point, I was having so much fun. It was just too long, and I got disillusioned on what was supposed to be happening in the story. Sweaters, pajama, summer. That's what's happening right now. Once we got to the 50% mark, I'm like, okay, we're at the midpoint, but it felt like we still had so much left to do, and we weren't doing it. Like, there was a constant amount of urgency with having only 6 demon days. By the time we got down to the last demon day, there was not enough urgency. Too many things were happening. I won't say I'm fantastic at time management, but I will say I know the value of an hour, and they were like 20 hours past due. There was just so much happening, so much travel, commute times. At some points they were being knocked out. They were losing hours. They didn't even start on their first day. At the beginning of the book, they do not start on the first demon day actually trying to break this curse. From the get-go, I felt an urgency, but once it got down to the last minute, I needed them to wrap up, and they were not. I also really liked Laszlo, but I think after a while, I kind of was aware of the twist that was happening. I understood the curse, and once we got to the end, I felt like things that I had already figured out along the way were being very heavily explained to me, and I couldn't take it anymore. I ended up turning it up to 3 times speed, which was still somehow understandable to me at that point. I think I was just so used to the narrator's voice that I became fluent. In one chapter, every other word that came out of Laszlo's mouth was a pop culture reference. From Star Wars to Starbucks, it was all in there, and it just was every single line. I think almost exactly at 60%, from 60 to 64%, it was only pop culture references. It was the wildest thing where I was like, whoa, someone needed to cut at least 7 of these out. However, my 3 stars that I give it are very strong 3 stars. This book was a lot of fun. For the first 60%, I was only having fun. This demon is mischievous. He's actually morally corrupt. Like, he does things that are messed up, that are funny, and so is kind of Maggie and her brother, who I'm spacing on his name, but he was really cute. The 2 siblings had a fantastic and fun sibling dynamic. It was really adorable. They had some really good lines. Maggie was at the point in her life where she was an adult, but she was so fresh into adulthood that she still had a bit of that childlike quality, and the entire story's theme is kind of built on hope and how Maggie starts out with none, because Maggie has a curse placed upon her, and her entire family, generation after generation, has had this curse that turns them into like a foul and kind of disgusting beast, and then they die or end up harming someone else. So Maggie has kind of settled into knowing that that is going to happen to her, and she's already seen some of the signs of it, as well as watching her father deteriorate. So there was a lot of really interesting setup and a lot of very fun concepts that I felt like could have been explored a little bit more. Okay, sorry. I was ranting more than separating, so I took a break to get my bearings. I now have very big puffy clothing, a pile over there because they're not getting folded with the regular clothes anyway. So yeah, Maggie was really interesting. Her curse was really interesting. Some of the earliest scenes between Maggie and Laszlo were hilarious because Maggie is very much so a suspicious person. She doesn't have a lot of hope, and Laszlo's trying to feed on that hope as a demon. They made for a very odd pair, and having the brother enter the mix kind of gave a little bit more of like an innocent twist to it. And for the first 60%, I really didn't feel the stakes were stressful. I did feel urgency in the latter half because I was realizing that time management was not Laszlo or the author's forte. But, you know, like, again, can't really judge it. But that 3-star really did stand out to me as one of my first 3 stars where I've given a book I really, really like 3 stars, where I was like, no, I would read this again, I would recommend this, I had lots of fun with it. In the grand scheme of things, when I looked back at it, I couldn't give it a 4. So that's where I ended up landing on The Witchstone. I would highly recommend it. I think you'd have a lot of fun reading it unless any of the things I pointed out to you are your mortal enemy, in which case that one's probably not for you. These are fall colors, but I feel like it's so summery. It's so sheer. If I don't put this away now, it'll be here all winter. If I put it away now, I might want it like next week. Summer. I have other things to wear. The next book I'm in the middle of is The Phoenix Keeper, and oh my gosh, you want to talk about a cozy good time. More than cozy, because I know that that word is overused. This is a warm book. It makes you feel fuzzy. It's a fuzzy, warm read. Much like its cover, which I'll never forget the fact that I accidentally skipped this in my Illumicrate because I was trying to get it. But the cover pretty much sums up the feelings of this book. It's like sunshine, and I know that's maybe not like the genre tone you might be looking for right now. If you get some fatigue from having all of your horrors and thrillers and you love fantasy, you might want to pick up The Phoenix Keeper. This follows Ayla. She works at a zoo for magical creatures. There is a dragon in this zoo, but Ayla's specialty, her focus and passion, is phoenixes, which unfortunately are a dying breed. So she's making conservation efforts. Oh, I'm folding now. We've moved on to folding. I guess I'm feeling safe in my environment. We're folding. I shouldn't be folding yet. I still need to continue to throw things. So Ayla, as a conservationist, is also socially anxious. She is just like a chaotic bisexual little bean. I love Archie. He's a mischievous bird. There's so many creatures that have so much character in this book, and it just feels special. There is some social dramas and a little bit of a romantic tension subplot happening, but overall, I'm mostly just focused on her trying to overcome her anxieties in order to do something that's really important to her, and I just think that that could be really important. Oh, I'm folding again. Go away, I'm not ready to fold you. And I just think that that could be really important for like so many people. I know that a lot of people are feeling really anxious right now and they're feeling scared. I can't take that away, but if you're looking for an escape with also some encouragement to still live your life to the best of your ability while still remaining safe, The Phoenix Keeper might be the way to go. I haven't finished it yet. I'm expecting to finish it probably tomorrow or the next day. Oh, this is still sopping wet. Oh, come on. It's at the very back of my closet now. I have 3 books, right? I'm reading 3 books. Oh, An Education in Malice. At the beginning, I was obsessed with it, and I'm also highly pining over the prose in this book. I think that there's a couple moments between the characters that felt a little too sexual tension for me. I'm on the A spec, so just, like, let that go. There's a few moments where I'm like, I'm really focused on what they think about with each other's characters, and they're like, nah, we just want a bone. And I'm like, can you tell me more about your intellectual motive for that? That's cool. But they do have really good sexual tension. It is a strong focus of the characters' perspectives, but it also, in some points, is just flat out hot. It's good stuff. Right in my last update, I said I was at the 50% mark. I was right before the 50% mark. Things just tumbled and are now just rolling. The adrenaline is like in full swing. I don't know how I won't finish this book tomorrow. I cannot wait. Honestly, I'm probably gonna read some of it tonight. This is my underwear. I'm so sorry. What kind of vlog is this? Where's the sweaters? Okay, I'm gonna take another talking break and I'm gonna get as much of this organized as possible. And once we're into the folding, I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about some fun things that are coming up, but that will be happening by the time you're seeing this vlog. Hot 30-second B-roll real quick. and pant pile, dress and shirt and sweater pile, pajama pile, socks are over here. This is the fuzzy sweater pile. This is the summer pile. And before you say you turned one big pile into a whole bunch of piles and have barely done anything, I already know that. When this vlog is out, if you want free books, I have to tell you about this sale. There are over 400 fantasy books that are going on sale October 18th through the 20th. My book, The Solstice Court, is one of them. Please pick up this book. It's the only time probably this year it'll be free because it is on KU. So this is a perfect time to pick it up if you were on the fence, curious, or just like, I want to support you, but you're a debut author and I just don't know. This would be the time to do it. It's free right now. If you're seeing this video between October 18th and the 20th, woo! Free book! There are also 400 more free books. I have my own TBR list that I'll go over once I have access to my computer, which is under these pants. There are cozy fantasies, political fantasies, pirate books, sword and sorcery, LGBTQ books, books about found family. There are so many different categories and they are all on the Stuff My Fantasy website that has them all highlighted and categorized for you. Also, they all have links to them so you can go straight to the page where you can get it for free. So it's huge, it's ongoing. I've been trying to post about it on my Instagram as much as possible. There's just not as much time in the day as I would like. So I'm telling you here and now, if you're watching this video and you like free books, go check out the sale. It's going on and it's gonna be great. To just be able to just throw my book out and just be like, this is of no cost to me. You get to just have this book. If you are a KU member, you can pick up my book after the sale. I do aim to be as accessible as possible, which is why I ended up going with KU, because for a lot of people, that is how they are able to get as many books as they get, because they can't afford to buy all of those different books, so instead they pay a monthly subscription for it. If you'd like to pick up my book and you have access to a local library, request it from them. The library gets my book, and then anyone in your town or area has access to my book for free, which for me is the dream. I love when you request it at bookstores. It'll give me coffee to feed my soul. If you have a library or are able to pick up the book for free, that just brings me so much joy. I love wearing this skirt. I love how it wears on me. It's like this really strong corduroy, and it's this deep emerald with these buttons going up and then a corseted back, but it's like not too over the top. And when I pair it with any of my autumnal tops, I feel like I'm ruling the world. So I cannot wait. I might wear this tomorrow, actually. But back to the fantasy sale. 400 books. I could never list them all. I could never even download them all. You could, but I can't. I want to pick up books mindfully that I actually want to read. And I don't want them to get drowned out in just me wanting to click on all the pretty covers, because there are a lot of pretty covers in here. And instead I'm going to focus on books that I think I could get to soon. I know one of my goals for next year is going to be reading more indie authors and just supporting them the same way everyone else has been so supportive of me. I want to share that, and I've really learned the value and effort that goes into an indie book. Oh, how did you get in here? It's going in summer. There's fluff all over me and it's from my moth wings. Oh, rip. Okay, I decided to go with half decent warm lighting for this clip, just so I could take a break from the harsh light that is the only light in my bedroom. We don't have enough outlets for lamps. These are the books I have hauled by the time you're seeing this video. They're saved in a wish list. Now it's a haul because I will have had these books by the time you saw this video. If you see any books that you want from this haul, they're free right now. You can get them. Click down below and you can get the free ebook version of them. Here's the list of all the books that I will have picked up from the Stuff Your Fantasy event and that you can pick up now. The link will be down below. In no particular order, mostly just me clicking around. The Sharp Edge of Fate by T.F. Johnson. When the Stars Alight by Camilla Andrew. Down from the Tower by H.N. Defoe. When Gods Fall by S.E. Bouvier. Feathers of Dawn by Jess Galaxy. This is one I've been eyeing for a long time. If you've been on my channel, you've seen it mentioned a lot. Witchcraft by Ruth Miranda. The Call of the Sea by Kate Schumacher. And Caraway of the Sea by Madeline Burgett. I want to read Caraway of the Sea so badly. This is going to be the first book I read when I'm starting out this list. As you can see from both the title and and the cover. It's pirate-centric, it has ace representation, found family. She's described it as cozy grimdark, and I just cannot wait to read this. But there's more. Fire on Fire by Kirsty Nichols. The Phoenix and the Crown by Rachel Terry. Legends of Ravens by KJ Bradford. Jaded Wears the Crown by Samara Soward. Silent is the Sword by Evelyn Grimwald Stone. What a name and what a cover. I love everything about this. The 13th Hour by Trudy Skies. Crowning Soul by Sahira Javed. The Moon Tear by M.E. Royce. The Outlaw Melodic by A.R. Maxwell, and Faded Fragments by Mandy Contos. If I mispronounce any of these author names, I am so sincerely sorry. To avenge them, please go pick up their book. Again, all of the links will be down below. Look at all their past and future books. Check out the website to see even more because I barely touched the surface of over 400 books. And please consider picking up my cozy political fantasy with court intrigue, queer platonic love, souls and soulmates, bantering brothers, and a whimsical main character who really just wants to be friends with everyone in the middle of a war. I'm gonna go ahead and finish my laundry, and hopefully my next check-in will be my final check-in of this vlog because holy hell, I'm guessing it's long. Okay, so it's actually 2 days later, it's Friday. I want to put this video up today, and I just finished all of the editing for it, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I feel like I got most of my thoughts out about all of these books, and none of my opinions really changed. So I'm just going to give my final star rating. For An Education in Malice, I'm going with a 4, leaning towards a 4.5. This was really fun, very sexy, very smoky, also very, like, explicit. So if you don't like Open Door, go in with caution, but this is also just a really beautiful sapphic vampire story, and it was the perfect time of year for this. Really enjoyed reading it, and I would heartily recommend it. Next is The Phoenix Keeper, and this was a dollop of sweetness that I needed. I'm gonna go with a 4.5 once again. While I don't think it's like my all-time favorite, there's nothing really wrong with this book. It does exactly what it sets out to do, and it does it so well. This book is special, and if you were on the fence about picking it up, be kind to yourself and grab The Phoenix Keeper. Honestly filled me with so many warm and fuzzy feelings. While I said that this wasn't the right time of year for it, as the season gets darker and colder, you might want something a little bit more sunshine and a little bit more fun and a little bit more hopeful, and this book is definitely just that. I already gave my rating for Witchstone, but I am keeping it at that solid 3. All 3 of those stars are very well earned, and I think I'll end up actually picking it up physically. I really did enjoy my time with it, and it's one I can see picking up again, and I think I would be comforted by the familiarity and the ease of the characters, kind of like watching an old sitcom or something like that. All 3 of these books were absolutely phenomenal. They got me through kind of a hard week and some change, but we're here now, and I'm feeling good and I'm feeling great. I will be doing another vlog coming up, so after this vlog ends, I will be doing probably my final vlog of this season so that I can enjoy Halloween as it actually happens. I'm hoping that it won't be as chaotic as this one. I'd like something a little bit more streamlined, but you never know. And if you made it to this part of the video, go ahead and leave some fire down below for my spicy books and my Fire and Brimstone. And whether you do or not, I hope you are enjoying the sun or more stars wherever you are. And until next time, bye!